Peace be with you. I'm making this video to try to point out to everyone who our enemies are. East or the West, it doesn't matter. These are always the same enemies. These enemies are not known by how they look like. They are not known by what label they claim to themselves. They're not known by their ethnicity. They are known by their deeds. What they do is what makes them the enemy of every common man on this planet. And there are several categories of these people, and I'm just going to try to go through all of them. The first category is the usurers, the bankers, people who lend money for interest, people who control money. These people have always been hated throughout history. If you read Dante's Inferno, the usurers are in the lowest place of the hellfire. So we know that the prevailing Christian attitude towards them was that of hate and disgust. If you read the Quran, one of the few justifications for war is usury. God tells these people to expect war from God and His messenger, and they can always expect war from God and His messenger. So these are our enemies. Those who deal in interest, the bankers, they are the enemies of Christians and Muslims. Who is the next group? A great Greek philosopher, Plato, said once, those who tell the stories control society. It's a little bit different now because we are fooled by this whole notion of freedom of speech, at least in the West, because we can actually say what we want. But those who control platforms for dissemination of information are those who rule society. And those who choose to use these platforms to disseminate filth, these are they who are our enemy. Doesn't matter what they look like, doesn't matter what religion they claim, doesn't matter anything. As long as they continue to promote prostitution to our children, people who, for example, make pornography, you find out who those are, not the actors themselves, people who are prostituting themselves, but those who pay them to make those movies, and those who market those movies, those are the enemy. People who lie to us in the news. People who, it was very easy for Americans to see that the news was lying to them during the pandemic and during the race riots or the race protests recently. They knew that the media was lying, and they were able to see that the media was lying at every step. But these same people who knew that the media was lying against them believe the media when they lie against another people. There are other countries in this on this planet where people the same struggle between hedonism and what we call liberalism, which isn't really liberalism because liberalism is tolerant, but this cancel culture and this desire to move a society in a certain direction where it's disturbing, and people who are more family oriented, who are true, stand for the truth and stand for kindness and hard work. There's this struggle in other countries as well, and the media present these people who are just like us, who are family oriented, who want safety and order for their society. They present them to us as evil people in order to get us to hate them. So one day we may even sacrifice our own children in war in order to bring to another land what we don't even want in our own. This is how they lie to us. They've always lied to us like that. When they want Muslims and Christians to hate each other, what they do is they find a vile person who calls himself a Muslim, who looks very foreign, and who is willing to say that they want to kill everybody, and then they say, hey, they're all like this. They do the same thing by finding a vile person who claims to be Christian and then presenting this person to the Muslims in the news. So we know that news media lies. We know that they lie. So we know that they are the enemy. So whoever decides what is being said in these things, and we know that they decide to lie, and they are the enemy. The editors and the owners of these companies, they are the enemy. The next one is the people who control the entertainment. People who decide that to make TV shows about whatever, immorality, that glorifies immorality, that choose what kind of music gets played. There's plenty of music with positive message, for example, but it is these people who choose to market a certain type of behavior, a certain type of attitude to communities, to where their children then think that this is reality, and they start to behave like that for real. So they murder each other, and they sell drugs, and women are taught to prostitute themselves. These people are telling in music, they are marketing the music that is telling your daughters that it is desirable, not okay, but desirable to be a prostitute by giving a platform to people like, for example, Cardi B or whoever, whatever rapper you want, or even all the male rappers. Supposedly we are fighting against misogynism, but these people give a platform to the most misogynist of people who humiliate women, who make them seem like objects, who call them, hoes and all kinds of stuff. And that is, you don't have an outcry against that from these same organizations that will, have an outcry about something, way less than that. And they will pretend to be, pro-women. These people who make these movies that to promote a certain culture that corrupts our children, that makes them think that the world is a certain way, they are the enemy. Whoever makes these decisions, it's not the actors, it's not whatever, but people at the back end, they are the enemy. People who control the platforms for dissemination of information because of what they are choosing to disseminate, what kind of entertainment and what kind of news, and how they choose to present the news, they are the enemy. Bankers, all people that deal in what's called in Arabic riba, or usury in English, all of them are enemy. And they always seek to divide us against each other. So they get us white to hate black and black to hate white. And they seek to get us to consume these products. So you have men sitting in front of pornography for hours on end, neglecting their families and just being mesmerized by filth. You have men and women listening to music and emulating people who are the most corrupt among us because they are the only ones that have a platform, because you can't even know what else is out there because no one else has a platform. This is who is the enemy. And as long as we continue to listen to them and consume their products, we consume this entertainment, we do all that, then we will continue to be slaves. In our society, we are going to continue to suffer. We're going to watch our daughters prostitute themselves. We're going to watch our sons mistreat their families. We're going to watch our sons sell drugs and hurt each other and die like dogs in the street. Everything in life is a taught behavior. Everything is. You look at your little children and they are emulating you. Remember that. Look at them. What you say, they say. What you think, they think. Mind control is real. All you have to do is tell people what to think. And when we get of a certain age, all of us want to fit in. So if you mold society, you make it almost impossible to break free from those bonds. We can only be free if we all choose to obey God and actually all together face our enemy. We are not usurers. We do not appreciate filth. We don't want our daughters to be prostitutes. We don't want our sons to be criminals. And we have to be confrontational. There's nobody being confrontational to these people. So we continue to suffer. I just wanted to say this because who the enemy is obvious. And they are trying to make everybody else into an enemy except themselves. Those who do not obey God are the peddlers of filth and pain, and they are the enemy. It doesn't matter how they look or what they claim. And those who are opposed to this should maybe stop being scared and start speaking out, huh? Peace be with you.